Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday Club. And we're back. We're going to almost have a full house as soon as the others join. But let's get started anyway. And just want to tell you all that Professor's here, but his device is not connecting. So I don't know what the deal is. But
not his
we're going to
device,
get
the
on.
laptop sound. I mean, his device. You mean the laptop that he's working on is not connecting and he's on mute, so you can't even hear what he's saying.
I'm not talking about Sandip. I'm talking about Debunking Sengupta.
Yeah.
And
So what? You just say his laptop.
You don't have to be all knowing. I'm the host of this show. I know that what the message
And by
says.
the way, before the others come in, I wanted to let all the viewers of the Sunday Club know of the great betrayal. This lady, no one knew her. No one. Even the people. 1 minute. Even the Kahani script she did, no one knew other than Vidya Balan and whoever the director was, Shujit or whatever. Then she started the Sunday Club.
Yeah,
Sandip Ghosh,
right.
Shujit Mitra, Pallavi Ghosh, whenever she was immobile, Dipankar, Sengupta, and all of us contributed and made her the star. Now, what does she do? She starts her own program called Mic Off with Advaita Kala.
Nice name.
1 minute. She doesn't invite us. What does she say? Please send me a statement of affirmation, commendation, and praise for my show, which none of us have seen. The point I'm making is this betrayal of yours is akin to the betrayal of Donald J. Trump qua Narendra Modi. It has the same playbook.
Such nonsense. I can't wait to tell you all. I told Suhel, let me play the promo of my new show, Mic Off, before the show starts. And he says, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. There's so much envy in this group. And trust me, guys, it's a great conversation. You have to hear it because it's all about Mafia Raj in UP.
Boss, Rafa has more followers on digital media. And Rafa is my pup. Changes has more followers, more listeners than you.
Okay,
so we are not
and the guest on that first show is Brij Lalji, who was the former DGP of UP and now a Rajya Sabha member.
Who was praising himself by saying, "I shot people." Is that the kind of guest you want? Encounter
He
killing.
shot gangsters. So Suhel has watched. Thank you so much for watching, Suhel.
It came on Twitter, and the reason why I watched it, I wanted to enhance your views from 1 to 2. So when I saw it, it became 2 views.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I'm manifesting it. It's going to be huge. Okay, let's start. Suhel, you shouldn't be drinking Diet Cola just because we're discussing.
This is cold frigging coffee.
Okay. I just thought because we're discussing Trump, you're having Diet Coke. So I said no.
I've never drunk. It's the worst thing for your system. Proceed.
I agree. Okay, Suhel, you've been already chatting with the new ambassador, the incoming ambassador. You've been giving him tips on food and food trails in Delhi. What's going on? This guy is going to be in charge of India, as well as overseeing South and Central Asia. Essentially, he's going to be flying in and out of Pakistan, net.
Whether he can fly out of Pakistan once he goes in is another matter. But here's the issue. And it's a serious issue. By this kind of action, Donald Trump is hyphenating India and Pakistan without any, remorse or without any guilt. A. B. What are we seeing today? The importance of India as a nation has been understood by every American president since 1947. We've had some great ambassadors, John Kenneth Galbraith and so on, Frank Wisner, but we've also had some losers like Garcetti, who all he did was travel and tourism. Today, you have Donald J. Trump, who on January 20 gets inaugurated, in August announces that his head of personnel in the White House, so it's almost like appointing the munshi in someone's house or the housekeeper, कि भाई तुम जाके ambassador बन जाओ. Look at the people he's appointed otherwise. The ambassador of the US to Italy doesn't even stay in Rome. He stays on his yacht. He's a Texan billionaire. Now you've appointed this joker who has no idea about diplomacy, who has nothing. So, my view would be treat the ambassador as you would treat a clown. Laugh with him, laugh at him, but ignore anything because he will not provide any intellectual heft or succor. A. B. I think over time we have to recognize that we have to suffer Donald J. Trump for 3.5 years. America will outlive Trump. We will certainly outlive both America and Trump. So I'm not too worried about that. What is the damage that this chap can do? What he can do is he can feed Trump's ears saying, oh, this is wrong, that is wrong, Pakistan's a great country, Pakistan doesn't matter. First, let him come to Delhi. Delhi itself will tire him out. Let him try and navigate the traffic, the pollution, the floods. ये एक pothole में ही ढह जाएगा. So I'm not too worried about that. My concern is how Donald Trump has minimized the relationship between America and India.
Okay, Sandip, this guy is a little bit about him. He's only 38 years old, very young. He is somebody who's very close to Donald Trump. If there is an inner circle for Trump, then he is part of the core inner circle. In fact, Trump's son, Donald J. Jr., has said that this guy has had more dinners with my dad than I have in the last 1 year. So he has Trump's ear. So essentially, if we were to look at the flip side, you have someone here who is going to be able to pick up the phone and connect with Trump without the usual red tape and communicate directly to the president. So that surely is a bit of a plus.
It depends on what he communicates and what is his mandate and his brief, what he has come with. We are assuming a lot of people who got equally excited when Donald Trump was elected. They are getting excited that through him they're going to have a direct access or direct channel to Donald Trump. But you see, Americans come with their own agenda and with their own mandate. So, don't expect he's going to communicate what is for us music and or what we tell him. He will have a lot of other things to say, especially since he's traveling to Pakistan, Central Asia, and all of that, which you're saying, and Bangladesh, I presume, being South Asia. That is how, I don't see this thing as innocuous. And first of all, I would probably not rush to draw conclusions or overinterpret, just as I would be. I think people who are getting excited are being extremely naive about it. Somebody I met the other day who was the Indian military attaché in Washington, he gave me a very interesting perspective. He says India policy in Washington is not decided by the State Department. It is always decided by the Pentagon. That is the army. The military is what they decide what is going to be the policy, because that is where the hyphenation between Pakistan, India, and all of it comes. It is not guided so much by geopolitical consideration, but their own assessment of America's defense needs or what is happening in this part of the world. And that kind of, I think, made a great sense to me that, there is, therefore, if you see the continuum, the funny thing is, Trump has really been a disruptor for many other countries as far as geopolitical issues is concerned, trade is concerned. But as far as India, I think there is almost a 180-degree flip back to what was happening even in Biden's time or even in the pre-Trump era. So essentially, Langley, as they call it, probably has a far greater say here. And I would be extremely worried, Advaita, maybe I'm seeing ghosts or being over, pessimistic. There you will see a lot of internal turbulence in the country. I'm not so much worried about how the trade negotiations pan out, or for that matter, even some of these, defense stuff. But I see a lot of starting a lot of trouble inside the country, which they have been trying to do for the last 3-4 years.
What kind of trouble are you suspecting?
I think there will be trouble to destabilize the regime. There is an idea to weaken Narendra Modi, and there. I today tweeted something just a few hours before, because suddenly it I remember that article. It was written by somebody who's very, very pro-Congress. And as I said, significantly, it was published in National Herald not too long ago. And this gentleman, who was an earlier staffer of Telegraph, he recounted his conversation with MJ Akbar when he used to be the Telegraph. And MJ Akbar was then very close to Rajiv Gandhi. He said when Rajiv Gandhi was becoming prime minister, he was flying in through Patna, and this gentleman was the Patna desk chief. And he sat there. He said Akbar was a few drinks down, and so was this guy. And Akbar said, "I worry for Rajiv Gandhi." He said, "Why?" He said, "America doesn't," and also Benazir, he said, "because America doesn't like independent-minded prime ministers for India and the subcontinent." And blah, blah. You can read that article. I have posted it. Narendra Modi, and especially now that India is asserting so vocally, one hand about all the issues, whether it's trade, whether it's defense, everything else, and also not shying away from expressing their proximity to Russia, China, everywhere. I think this won't be liked by many.
Okay, go ahead, Suhel, and then Professor can come in.
I've said this in 2 videos I recorded, 3 actually. One on Trump lobbying for the Nobel Prize, and 2 were related to tariffs. And I just want to say this for the benefit of all the viewers. Please recognize that America has always been only for America. Henry Kissinger said, America as a friend is good. America as an enemy is good, perhaps, but America as a friend is fatal. America has no friends in the real sense. They're a bit like you. They use and throw, like you've done with your program.
I mean, I spent a good many years.
Let's be serious.
Maybe that's where I learned it.
I don't believe you need to ever imagine, whether it is Trump or anyone else, that they will care about India. Everyone has said, but Prime Minister Modi was close to him. Let me tell you, every Prime Minister of India has to have a great relationship with the President of the United States. Indira Gandhi didn't have one. Rajiv Gandhi went when Reagan was president. Mrs. Gandhi went several times. Narasimha Rao has gone. Manmohan Singh, in fact, Dr. Manmohan Singh was walking into the Oval Office to meet Obama just as Rahul Gandhi was tearing up the ordinance in the so-called Constitution Club of India. So my whole thing is that please recognize that America is no one's friend. So discount that and rebuild your country. So I see hope in the following. Number 1, we need to create more international Indian brands. And number 2, we need to recognize that these tariffs are punitive because the guy's a bully. And a bully is essentially a coward.
All right, Professor, what's going to happen?
Let's look at this present appointment. If you look at this gentleman, Sergio Gore, a number of things become extremely clear. That there's a consistency in his politics. He's always supported the right-wing brand of Republican parties. He started with McCain. He then graduated to Rand Paul. And now, of course, once Rand Paul withdrew from the 2016 race, he's been consistently with Trump. He's been extremely loyal to Trump. So much so that when Trump was picking employees for his administration, he was entrusted with the task of devising loyalty tests and filling up the administration, which he seems to have done. Prior to this, he set up a publishing company which actually published Trump's autobiography, because no other publishing house was willing to touch it because of factual error issues. He is completely loyal to Trump and, according to certain sources, pretty unscrupulous also. I mean, Elon Musk does not have a very high opinion of him, but then, it has to do with the manner in which Jared Isaacman was turfed out. He was nominated for a position, but it was found out that he had actually donated money long time ago to democratic causes, which is the case with many people who have now converted to Trump, but that's another matter altogether. The deviousness which he deals with his rivals, I think, is cause for worry. So, He has no base of his own, number one, no experience of diplomacy, completely loyal to Trump. So it is clear he won't have agency out here. He has been sent here to do Trump's bidding. Look at the wording: ambassador to India and representative to South Asia and Central Asia. So one of the things he will do, and he will do it at Trump's bidding, he will basically try to bully India by linking India, rehyphenating India with Pakistan once again, much to India's discomfiture, anger, whatever. He will do everything. Nothing is off the table. He will do everything to get India to sign on the dotted line, be it a trade deal which is adverse to India, or on a statement which will basically acknowledge Trump's role in bringing peace to the subcontinent. Okay, so I think we are in for interesting times, but I also do not doubt that we have the wherewithal to handle this particular guy. But I think I will underline what Suhel said, that until and unless we are able to create Indian brands and we are not dependent on people who control shelf space in other countries for our products, we always will be at the receiving end. China today, in spite of buying so much more Russian oil, in spite of damaging the American economy far, far more, is actually being penalized less than India. Why? Because the Chinese literally, have the Americans where they wanted to be. So it's extremely difficult to penalize the Chinese. So they've,
Okay,
like a bully, he's chosen the once again weakest link to penalize India. And the coming of this particular person, I think, is another step in that particular strategy.
Okay, Professor, I'm glad you brought up China, because I want to ask you this also. Do you think India was being too aggressive on the international stage? Because in the time after, I think it was out of who was the guy, the Tiananmen Square person in China, the dictator at that time?
Zhao Jiang. Zhao
Zhao.
Jiang.
I mean,
Okay,
can
after
you
that,
imagine?
when they started, oh, wait, no, wait, 1 second, yeah. After they started, getting into becoming the factory of the world, their international politics and their rhetoric was very measured on the international stage. But what we've seen
Yes.
with India and our foreign minister, Mr. Jaishankar, in the last couple of months and years, has been a very aggressive, almost what could be described as an arrogant stance by the Americans on the world stage, especially when it comes to
Look,
relationship with Russia.
Look, the Chinese had a policy that was long ago. Bide your time. The underlying thing is bide your time till you basically grow in strength and then do whatever you need to do. You see, where India is concerned, India has always been outspoken. It is not just Jaishankar. We've been outspoken since the 50s, 60s, 70s, even when we were completely dependent on the Americans on PL 480 grain. We were living from ship to ship. We made our stance absolutely clear where Vietnam is concerned. That is not new. But in this specific case, when the West thought that we would cut down our ties, they were pressuring us to cut our ties with the Russians. We made it very, very clear that we would not cut our ties with the Russians, because the problems in Ukraine, Georgia, etc., do not start from the advent of the entry of the Russians into this starting this particular war. They happened because the Europeans and the Americans had shown bad faith by not agreeing or not adhering to what was there in the Minsk Accords and so on and so forth. So we were very clear that we would not ditch Russia because Europe had a problem with Russia, and this had to be made very, very clear by Jaishankar to the Europeans. By the way, our problem was more with the Europeans than the Americans. But in this case, it is not the Europeans who are basically hitting us. It's the Americans who are hitting us. And surprise of surprise, President Trump, who was seen to be far more sympathetic to Vladimir Putin, his administration is the ones which has suddenly become outraged at the fact that we buy so much Russian oil. You see, the Americans need an excuse. The reasons they gave are not working, so they're basically asking people like Peter Navarro and Besant to come up these particular statements. Nobody buys these statements in America or in Europe, but this is what it is. They have to hit India. India is the worst hit and the one who has possibly done no offense. How do they explain this? They explain this by making up these particular statements, and they are doing this because they think India is the weakest link in Russia's strength. It's not going to work anyway.
Hmm. Also, how much of this is also kind of, this is the largest democracy in the world. It is also been touted as a strategic partner for the Americans, wherein they are seeking to deepen ties with us. And if you're saying the Pentagon is really where the decisions are taken on Indo-US ties, then this is a terrible time when China and Russia are pushing towards a multipolar world and America is stuck on unipolarity. It's a terrible time for the Americans, really, to upset India in this way and to create this distance. And for
But
them to
this is
send an
the way.
ambassador who is like a regional figure. There's not even a dedicated ambassador for India.
No, he is ambassador to India. Apart from his main job, he is also the representative of United States, the representative of the president for South Asia and Central Asia. Be that as it may, you see, this is basically how Trump has done business. If you look at his business strategies, he is one person who has faced bankruptcy, been bankrupt a number of times. But bankruptcy means that your past debts, in a sense, get absorbed, and then you basically keep on doing those same mistakes till you become a billionaire. This is how he is conducting his foreign policy. This is a make and break issue for him, where he's basically imposed tariffs on everybody, trying to bully everybody into getting a proper deal. So far, it is not working because the only two countries with whom he's got an economic deal happens to be Bangladesh and Pakistan. Okay, may they serve him well. He's also into this peacemaking mission. So he's basically intervened in the Azerbaijan-Armenia conflict.
Okay, we'll get there, Professor.
Azerbaijan.
Yeah, Professor, now lecture mode off. Okay, lecture mode off. Also,
No,
again,
wait, don't talk like that.
Wait.
What do you mean lecture mode off?
Wait.
So
Okay,
he's making
so
a valid point.
he's moving into regional alliances and things like that. We don't
No,
want to
no,
go
no, no.
there.
I was trying to point out how Trump
Wait,
behaves.
no, Professor, I think we need all to get perspectives in and non-professorial mode also. I have two very quick
Okay.
points to make, Advaita. One is, again, on this whole issue about military. If you really, I think, I personally, I could be a novice. I don't really attach a great deal to trade alone. Trade is something, was a hatika dant, which is what Trump is using everywhere. It is a much more, it's a more of a power game. And I think where the scales tilted or the tipping point happened was Operation Sindoor, which we still don't know what India did at that point in time, for the American intervention and for us to stop. There is something very serious. And that is where I think when I'm talking about the Pentagon, the military, they have decided that India has to be, put in its place, or, you have to clip its wings or things like that. And that is why India is being made into that whole game, or made the fall guy, even between Russia and us.
Basically, what you're implying and what is being suggested is that there were American assets in Pakistan which were possibly, allegedly, hit, and in particular an air base, wherein there may have been losses that the Americans have not been able to.
Advaita, I don't buy this.
I don't know.
I don't buy this.
Okay.
Look. Once again. A discrete hint to India.
One minute,
Sure.
Professor. First of all, I am not getting into specifics. I don't know what has happened, but there is something. All that I said is there is something happened. Maybe India punched above its weight way too much for America to be uncomfortable. And secondly, this hyphenation has not been new. If you remember, Clinton flew into India, and from here he straight went to Pakistan. Every time they do this, and that's part of their policy, no matter how much we want to wish away and how much of friendship they... can you imagine Trump saying that Pakistan is a great trading partner? What kind of trade they can do?
Out of sheer ignorance. Look. Once again, I don't buy this military thing for a very simple reason. I think if the Americans had given a hint to India, you don't hit this, India would not have hit it. We basically had Pakistan on the map even without hitting the so-called American asset, ostensibly American asset in Pakistan. We had them on the map. It's something else. Look, he wanted credit for his intervention, whatever it was in this conflict. India was displeased at the manner in which he weighed himself in. You see, now if you look at the other countries, for example, the leader of Azerbaijan, after signing the peace deal, says, you must get the Nobel Prize. You know, then look at the symptoms. For the first time, you have an American industrialist, Tim Cook, giving him a golden telephone in full public television. You know what I'm reminded of? There's a scene in Godfather 2, whether you remember it, I don't know, where Hyman Roth, shows a golden telephone to the other mafia dons, which is to be given to Fulgencio Batista, the dictator of Cuba. This actual scene. And here in front of the television cameras, Apple Incorporated unlocks or unveils a golden iPhone to be given to President Trump.
No. It wasn't a golden iPhone.
Ever seen this?
It was get the facts right.
Yeah.
It was a plaque made of the new tempered glass, which is being made in America, which will go on the iPhone. Only the base in which the glass fits was in gold. It wasn't a gold iPhone.
Okay. It can't be a gold iPhone because it won't work that way.
No, but you said
what is important is
one person,
gold. Okay, fine.
Rautela claimed she had a gold and diamond encrusted iPhone. I thought you had mixed her up with Donald Trump.
No. I had not. You see, the questions are following. This is something that I don't ever, in living memory, I do not think the American industry has ever gifted openly the American president with something like this. This is a symptom of how this gentleman operates. Risk taking in the short run, if bridges are burnt, then the guy who basically comes after them will be helped, will basically deal with it. He is in a hurry, he has certain goals, and he will do anything to achieve those particular goals. Those goals, by the way, may not align with American interests, but he will do them nonetheless. And that is why I think we are in trouble.
Why is Ukraine, Zelensky coming to India, Professor?
I have no idea. You see, the question is, so many things are happening too fast.
Why do you say it in such a sarcastic way that your friend Zelensky is coming?
I didn't see your friend. I said that friend is your addition. That's precisely the point. What is happening? Do we really have an idea, or we are all, just throwing darts in the dark?
Yeah, and now there's another angle that's come up, which is the Ambani versus Adani angle, which was floating on social media all of last. Professor, let me ask at least now.
Sure.
Now, see, I'm not interrupting this evening.
Wait. Yes,
I'm waiting my turn.
Yes, Suhel, wait.
You're being very well behaved.
Yes, and then there's this image doing the rounds of some event wherein a reception wherein
Again, let me tell you.
Now, let me finish the question. Next to the ambassador, so people are suggesting this is an Ambani kind of plant or suggestion, and the complaints again, Adani have also been planted. This is where it's going. So
let me tell you, and this I want to place on record. The photograph that you're mentioning was of a dinner, and there were about 8 dinners on the eve of the inauguration of the American president. That dinner, and at these dinners, everyone comes. I mean, the president and his wife come and show their face and they go. These are all donor dinners. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Ambani were invitees. I have been to the White House for a Christmas reception where Donald Trump, at that time he was president, where he and his wife were there. So now I'm standing there, my photograph gets taken with innumerable people. That doesn't mean I know those people or there's a plan or a plot, nothing. The problem is, it's as Julius Caesar said about Cassius. Such men are dangerous. He thinks too much. You think too much, not you. I'm saying people think too much. There is no issue here. It was a photograph of Mr. and Mrs. Ambani, and there was a gentleman there who, by the way, no one at that time knew. I don't think even the Ambanis knew who he was or who he is. So let's bury that. Number two, there is a journalist who Abhijit Iyer Mitra told me is a guy called Rohan Dua. Whoever he is, God bless him. He apparently has a company or a digital, whatever the hell it's called, something called the New Indian. He put out 2 tweets alleging that Adani was versus Ambani, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He deleted those tweets because they were utter rubbish, perhaps, or he deleted them because his finger fell on the delete button. I don't know. So,
Or he was pressurized.
that I don't know. My point here, Advaita, is in India, we have more conspiracy theorists than functioning traffic lights. We should only judge all of this through the prism of 2 things: logic, precedence. So, logic in this case doesn't exist. Precedence is many of these dinners have people of different hue and cry who come to these dinners. To then put 2 and 2 together is ridiculous.
Different
My point
shades.
here, there comes Pallavi Ghosh. Finally, we see her.
Different shades, not hue and cry. That's wrong English.
Sorry,
But-
different shades. Different shades. Okay, fine. That's because this Pallavi is always a bloody disturbing element. All the time, fucking right at the end, she'll come.
Or to pay me a compliment, Suhel, it is very difficult
Different
to know
shades.
what-
Yeah.
Anyway,
Different.
by the way,
Yeah, with the makeup on,
by
your
the
different shades to lip.
Sengupta,
Yeah.
Pallavi is already getting compliments.
Devant,
all decked up. Me, I've just come from a show. Some people are
Yeah.
very into, unlike
said
Professor.
that I only want Pallavi Ghosh to come to me, and she's a shit show or a hit show. One of the words you used in context of food today. Remember? But that you'll have an
Yeah.
offline as you have with Shondeep. I want to end
Yeah.
because I have dinner to attend. I just want to say 3 things as I leave. Number 1, I think what the Prime Minister said yesterday about preparing an arsenal of reforms is critical. We cannot have at any time, an over dependence. The good news, and no one has put out these facts, Advaita, our total export is 780 billion, of which only 48 billion is United States linked. So it's 4.9%. The sectors that are impacted are 3: jewelry, gems, apparel. Services will not be affected that much, and if they are, they are. What we have to do is we have to shore up 2 areas in our country. Number 1, the Make in India, which the Prime Minister, by the way, started, but we need to put more, legs to it. And number 2, we need to take our brands international. Go back into history and see what the Republic of South Korea did when they were rebuilding South Korea. They supported the chaebols. Now, I'm not saying support chaebol, again, there'll be crony capitalism, industries being supported, whatever. But we need to build MSMEs, we need to build industry. Finally, I'm a great believer in any adversity, you must sense opportunities. Today, if the government of India has its, heart in the right place, I would urge them, as I've done on Republic TV, which I said that if we are serious and if H-1B visas are under pressure, if those 5 lakh people are, or whatever number of visas are being under the microscope, create a Silicon Valley of India in India. I will give you one last point. On August the 20th, which is 4 days ago, I went to Ahmedabad and I visited something called the Gift City. Advaita, trust me, it is India's best kept secret. It is fantastic. We in India, and that you have to thank Modi for, we in India have replaced the Singapore Nifty, the FinTech Index. What Gift City is doing, both for resident Indians and foreign companies, is unimaginable. They have wine and dine there. So people say, oh, there's no alcohol, there's no this. It is just unreal what is being created and what has been created, even from an urban planning perspective. So I want to end by, India is fully capable of meeting any Trumpian nonsense. We have to get together, we have to get rid of bureaucratic red tape, and we have to make. Our only problem is, much like you, there's a lot of, but very little do. So
Okay.
replace the.
On that note, Suhel, I'm
Wait.
so happy that you're leaving, and I'm going to thank you for watching my new podcast, Mic Off,
I
with
haven't watched
Advaita,
it.
and
I haven't watched it.
sharing
I'd
your
much rather
views
watch Jungle
with
Book
it.
going wrong
And I
than
really
watch Mike
appreciate
Off.
that. Your support means so much to me because you're a man of such fine taste. That Mic Off with Advaita, with a first listener like you, is really going to go
So I'm going to
places.
say something in
So
support of
thank
Mike
you,
Off.
everybody,
I
for
think
the
Mike Off
support.
is a great initiative. It's outstanding. Please watch it. Watch it preferably during the day, because at night it will.
How mean, yeah.
As they say,
Pallavi,
never.
you're really laughing, yeah? What's wrong?
He's no one's friend.
Pallavi is no one's friend.
like Trump.
Pallavi,
Typical media.
So like Trump.
Pallavi is a roller coaster. Okay, I don't want to say this, but I mean it in a genuine way. You see, and this is in the context of Trump. Never go to bed with an elephant. You never know when the elephant will roll over and the pleasure turns into pain. God bless you, and may God continue to bless our lovely country.
You're right.
Yeah.
This is my goth look. Adam's family. Yes. Very insightful.
I don't think he meant goth, he meant grok. But anyway.
No, he said goth. Bye, Suhel. Bye, Suhel. Pallavi is really
Why are
giggling
you
at
going? You said bye to us thrice.
I have a dinner to attend, unlike you
Yeah,
But
guys.
you
so
said
go.
you'd be here till
This
7:40.
shit.
Yeah, but you said bye 3 times, so you should go.
I will go when I feel like going. Okay?
Fine.
As
Pallavi,
Amita
Pallavi,
said in one
Rahul
movie,
Gandhi got a kiss
he
today
said-
on the Yatra.
Let me tell you one thing. I will say this just as I leave. Say what you might. Say what you want about him. Rahul Gandhi is slowly scripting a very cogent and a very powerful narrative. I have criticized him many a time, saying that, look, sometimes the comments he makes about Indian economy, dead and all, I don't subscribe. But give him the credit and give credit where it's due. The narrative that he is building is cogent, powerful, and most importantly, other than the Prime Minister, he's the only pan-Indian leader that we have today. Thank you and God bless you. कोई वैल्यू पलट वलट नहीं रहा.
For the last 35 minutes, I'm sure you guys have not been able to talk.
No,
That's
we
not
No,
true.
but today Suhel was well behaved. Out of the 30 minutes were taken by Professor. And
That's not true. I came in after 20 minutes are gone, yeah. So, he's
I
being
think
mean.
Professor is on some
Uncharacteristically so.
secret mission. Professor, I think, please tell us, are you at the border, Murshidabad or Malda, some secret weapon? I mean, you've been
No.
shady in your behavior.
I was in Kolkata, and the closest I went to the border, not border, was Kolkata itself. Because from Kolkata, I went to a place called Joyrambati, which is not close to the border at all. Came back to Kolkata and then came back to Jammu. So I'm right near the border, 26 kilometers away from Pakistan.
Okay,
Kolkata
over
itself
700,
was on the border, no?
700 live with us.
Yes,
Please
true.
like the stream.
Okay. So now, Pallavi, give us all the things we are waiting to hear. Pallavi? Why have you gone silent, Pallavi?
Eh?
Pallavi
What's happening to her?
Pallavi.
I don't
I
think
can't
Pallavi,
hear what you are saying. I can't hear what you're
Because you were watching something else. Because you were watching
Ajay,
something
now-
else. Absolutely.
now-
I was looking at your eyeballs very carefully. You are not looking at us, you are looking something else. कि इसके पास दो screens है, वो कुछ और देख रहा है.
I am
Acha,
sitting
Pallavi, bolo.
alone in a room. I mean,
हाँ,
I can
बोलो.
show you here. I'm here. I'm
ठीक
in
है,
the
ठीक.
newsroom.
हाँ.
I've just taken a break from my anchoring. And I'm trying to figure out what Sandip is saying because I can't hear him. I can't see him also.
Okay, Pallavi,
there I
okay,
see
very
him.
quickly. Very quickly, yeah. So basically, we have done discussing the ambassador. Now we're talking about Rahul Gandhi and the fact, and this is serious. I mean, I made light of it earlier, but somebody actually breached his security and went over and gave him a kiss on the cheek or something of that sort, right?
Yeah. So he was on his motorcycle. He was in Araria today when it happened. See, it could have actually become even more serious, especially we know what happened, for example, with Rekha Gupta. Politicians are expected to go out in the crowd, and their catch-22 situation is that if they don't go, then they'll be accused of not mingling with the crowd. But someone with a high security threat perception on Rahul Gandhi, and he's been surrounded by security. I don't know, till now, the Congress has not made it into a political issue that, look at this is what happens, because law and order, failing law and order is something which Tejasvi Yadav has always spoken about. As of now, they've not made it into a big issue, but I think at some point of time they may. But, I'm saying it's lucky that nothing happened to him. I mean, we won't wish this on any Neta for that matter. Whether it's Rahul Gandhi or whether it's anyone, certainly not
He
the
is
Prime
high
Minister.
risk.
But these
He
are,
is
I
high
think,
risk.
these are the high risk. You remember what happened with the PM when he had gone to Punjab and Channi was a chief minister? So they are high risk. Any politician is. They are, because of the way they have to mingle with the crowd. But I think all of us should appreciate and understand if sometimes they're not able to mix around freely with us because of security concerns. In this case, someone from the crowd just jumps him. No, it's not nice. It's quite definitely risky. And I'm sure it's a huge nightmare.
You should remember. You'd also remember when Narendra Modi was not yet PM and he was addressing his rally in Patna. What had happened at that point in time? Also, there was a breach.
Yes,
But any
correct.
case, I think Rahul Gandhi has his own security, which is pretty strong. Pallavi, you yourself told us that during his first yatra, how journalists like you were kept 2 kilometers away, but others got to see him who were vetted by the security detail.
Yeah, but when
You
you're
said that,
in this kind of going through a road show and when you're on a
but
bike and
that
all
was
of that
there. But
stuff,
No, there's
you
always
can't help it.
security around him when
Yeah.
Pallavi is there. That's what
yeah,
I've
that's what
heard.
I'm saying. They consider him Pallavi to be a bigger security. I think their threat
Yeah.
perceptions are a little mixed up. They think
Yeah.
Pallavi is a greater
But I
security
want to
threat.
know, Sandip, do you have to sound like Suhel even after he's gone? I mean, seriously?
No, I'm just trying to stand in, by making a desperate attempt to kind of fill the gap because Suhail is a major crowd puller on our show.
See,
And
we're getting
Suhail knew that.
compliments, Pallavi. Thanks,
And
Meera.
for you. Thank you, Meera.
Yeah, Meera, the ladies on our show are much better than the men. I have to say this.
Yeah. I mean, look at Sandip,
Absolutely.
look at Professor.
We,
Horrible.
we keep ourselves understated. We deglamorize.
Yeah.
We wear these
I
kind
thought
of
for our viewers also.
sasta t-shirts and all that to come so that you people shine.
But
They look,
Advaita,
but
all the men,
Pallavi, please note both are in pink.
seriously.
Seriously, just see, and it's all color
But
coordinated.
Advaita, you have to admit that all the men on your show are crybabies. They play so hard to get. They throw such tantrums.
Okay, Pallavi. Now,
I throw
last
a
time you
tantrum?
were all this kind of thing. All the viewers turned off, and then later on they curse Advaita. Advaita was going to turn the mic off. Let's discuss
And
something
whenever
serious now.
Pallavi comes, the quality of the conversation dips. So
Yeah.
Pallavi,
So Pallavi,
now please
raise the
bring the
level.
conversation up again. So
So you
Parliament
have
is
to talk
over.
about ask me. Yeah, Parliament is over.
Parliament is over. Anything that we take away from this session of Parliament, if you had to surmise it for us?
So I'm going to just, I agree with Suhel. I think, I don't know about you people, but, like when I come to office and I'm talking to the security guards or their cameramen, they just suddenly start asking me, Madam, kya aapko sachi mein lagta hai kya koi gapla hua hai ki vote chori pe? See, not everyone thinks that there has been a problem with vote chori, but the fact that they are talking about it, I think that's important. So somewhere down the line, as they say, politicians ki baatein mein ko chhapte rehna chahiye. You have to make a noise. It may not be the correct, accurate noise, but you have to be heard. You have to register. So Rahul Gandhi's yatra may not, I'm saying, I'm not so sure. It may not have an electoral advantage for the Mahagathbandhan. I'm not saying they're going to win elections, but at least people are talking about it. And people are, there's a buzz on it, and a buzz does not necessarily have to be positive, but people are discussing this, the BJP is talking about it, and, like today, the Soros angle was brought in by Mr. Kiran Rijiju and so on and so forth. So I think that is one thing which has come out. Second, what I noticed is, at least in this session, you did see the entire opposition come together. There was a well thought out strategy. They were funky at times. The kind of memes, the kind of, the kind of protest they were conducting, and that march, which got into news for all the wrong reasons in case of some MPs. But at least there's a noise. They have captured the social media space. इतना तो मानना पड़ेगा, the opposition, the India Bloc and the Congress have captured the social media place, which does not necessarily mean it's going to work for them. Because after all,
You're in
winning
the
elections is what
studio.
is
Why
very
is your
important.
signal so bad?
No, her signal is fine, Suhel. I mean,
Pallavi is,
Sandip, the signal is fine.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's I'm
Signal
sorry,
is
it's
okay.
coming and going. No, it's coming and going. I'm out of the studio, and in the newsroom signals are a problem sometimes.
Yeah,
No, I
Pallavi,
think one of the
but hasn't the vote chori thing taken a big hit because of, Sanjay Kumar and CSDS? Because it was gaining some traction amongst the people, but then it was pretty much that worked like a pinprick. The balloon is deflated. No one's really talking about it now. It's been discredited. So, how are they going to, if the opposition do they plan to revive it? And if they do revive it, is it going to stick?
What I'm now saying is that
see,
India bloc, which was united during the parliament thing, I think that unity may start splitting up. And the first person to be spoiler could be the Trinamool Congress. Because the TMC actually engineered most of the protests, and they used to come out with some funky kind of protest lines and all of that, and they were mixing it with their Bengal elections. For example, having a
yeah.
little badge over here showing Rabindranath Tagore and Subhash Chandra Bose and all of that. They were protesting on vote chori, but their eyes were on Bengal election, talking in Bangla, all of that. One day they got all mishti and they were distributing it, and that bonham which I saw. But the Trinamool Congress is very upset because they feel that on this issue of the 3 constitutional amendment bills, they had decided we'll create hangama, we'll adjourn the house. What upset them was the fact that suddenly you had a Manish Tiwari or a KC Venugopal standing up and making a point of order. They said, this is not what we had planned. It cannot be about the Congress party. So now if we see the TMC seems to have retracted. And that is where it could be a problem as far as the India Bloc campaign. 1st September is the big India Bloc rally in Patna, Gandhi Maidan, end of the voter. Who will the TMC send? Is what I want to see. Will it be Mamata Banerjee? Or will it be Abhishek? Or will it be just about any other member of parliament? If it's just any other MP, Advaita, it very clearly shows that the TMC wants to downplay the entire thing. So that will be a huge challenge to sustain this, anti-SIR movement.
Look,
yeah,
in my
TNCs, that will be
opinion,
also tied. Just 1 minute, Professor. It's also tied up with what, last time you remember TMC versus Congress beat in the Lok Sabha, and in this TMC didn't really want to have a truck with Congress in the election because they don't want to give away any seats. So to that extent, I don't know how far TMC will align in this issue, because if it creates some kind of an obligation to accommodate Congress when it comes to Bengal. So those are points, I think, Pallavi, which you have rightly, raised. But a bigger issue is, Advaita, Congress has been harping on this election being stolen right from the beginning. First, it was the EVM story, and now
yeah.
they have been sulking from day one. Now, it's a fact that it has this point begun to register, especially because, and we hear it because of a lot of this migrant people from Bihar who we all encounter, and there is some buzz in it in Bihar. But I think the bigger issue in this case, I think even the EVM controversy, etc., was tackled much better, both by the EC as well as the government of India. In this instance, I am not too sure how well either the EC or government has done to take it on until this whole this Sanjay CSDS's thing was almost a gift to BJP and this other. It was not something I don't think they had planned. It kind of came to them on a platter. But without that, what Sanjay found out, EC or BJP could have found out earlier and actually exposed it. It didn't wait for some journalist to point out to Sanjay and then him admitting. And then you pile onto it as another matter. I think they're underestimating
and
this
I think one
narrative
thing,
issue.
but one thing I
Okay.
think Pallavi is right about is that the Congress did get ahead of the BJP in the social media narrative when it came to this particular issue. And
And
to
let
be
me,
fair, I mean, Congress, of course, worked as the India bloc, as part of the India bloc. So it was raised from all quarters. So that I
okay,
think one can acknowledge. Go ahead, Professor. And that's the final comment for the day. And then we're wrapping it
yeah,
up.
okay. Let me talk about this
So you're
particular
giving
issue.
him 10 minutes for final comments, is it?
On
We've
the,
got
No,
10
no,
minutes to
no. He's
go.
getting
no.
exactly 2
I'll take 2
minutes.
minutes.
We're wrapping up at 50 minutes. I'm a
Where
busy person.
EVM,
I'm not like you all.
where the where the EVM controversy was concerned, you had even a former CEC, Dr. Qureshi, who is not affiliated to the BJP, in fact, anti-BJP, weighing in favor of the EVM. He made it very clear in several statements and several interviews that the hacking of EVMs could not occur. So, where EVMs is concerned, I think there wasn't broad unity. This particular issue, of course, even Qureshi has weighed in favor of the India Alliance's claims. Now, those claims are ridiculous. We always know because of migration, people sometimes have votes in two places, they vote only in one place. But the question is the manner in which it was presented suddenly captured a lot of imagination, at least on the social media. And of course, you think that your first success basically has given you blood, you've tasted blood, you keep on making greater and greater claims, and you end up with what Sanjay actually did, an absurd claim which he had the sense to retract. So my thing is the following. This is basically taking shape because you have 5 states, 6 state elections coming all across India. 2 in the south, 2 in the 3 in the east. And that is why you have this India alliance coming together. Once these elections are over, I think you will not see this particular controversy coming up any longer. They are afraid of SIR because they are afraid that many false voters, particularly in West Bengal and Bihar, will get detected and they will get deleted. And who is afraid about this? The persons who basically do this. In West Bengal, it is the TMC is afraid that this particular exercise may actually deny it that decisive edge when it comes to elections.
Okay. That's a strong point. And I'll give the last word to Pallavi.
I'm
Pallavi
not
is again
saying it's
looking at
a
something else.
Pallavi, you've earned it. You've earned it. Come.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's a masterpiece of branding, but someone just, but I just think it has some resonance. But very quickly, someone just asked this question about PK. Maybe sometime we should talk about PK factor because he is certainly going to cut the votes. Who does it help in the end? That remains to be seen, whether it's going to help the BJP or the JDU on one side, or whether it's going to help the Congress and the Mahagathbandhan. I suspect he is going to hurt the Mahagathbandhan a little bit more because it usually the anti establishment votes are the ones which are going to get affected. But we should not overlook the fact that actually, if there's been one person who has been maintaining that campaign in the last 1 year, has certainly been BK, and he's a master of image makeovers and political strategy. So I think maybe we should talk about PK someday.
Yeah, I think we'll come back
And without
we'll
votes,
come back. Sandeep.
Advaita, just to respond to Pallavi, not respond, add to Pallavi, whether PK gets a vote or not, PK is actually making a difference in the narrative, something which BJP is unable to do at the local level. They have got very poor, voice, share of voice or share of this thing. PK is actually correcting the narrative of Tejasvi and Rahul Gandhi. I think that's a big contribution.
What do you mean correcting the narrative? What do you mean by that, Sandeep?
Please correcting or countering the narrative. Whether it was about the bill, in Parliament about action against PM and other people, their stand, or even about today also he has made comments about Rahul Gandhi and Tejasvi and all that. So he's kind of changed. If they were getting traction in terms of the image, PK is doing something to neutralize it. With BJP by itself, and I don't know, I'm not there in Bihar to know how much of BJP has a share of voice there. What we hear from BJP are all being said in Delhi, Amit Malviya and various people. But from the on-ground Bihar, I think PK is the voice against the MGB.
Pallavi, just a quick question here. I keep saying we'll sign out, but quick one. Prashant Kishore also had not a very good equation with Rahul Gandhi, right? When he was negotiating with the Congress for a position and entering formally, and seemed to have a vibe with Sonia Gandhi, but it fell out.
Not anymore. Not anymore. It's been a bitter
Not
parting.
anymore meaning?
They fell out. PK has fallen out. Huh? Remember after UP
Correct,
elections,
correct. He's
midway
fallen
he-
out, but what is the equation with Rahul Gandhi? It's not a good one, right?
No, not a good one at all.
Okay. So it's got Bihar is going to be interesting, especially with this like third angle. I don't know how many votes they're going to bring in. I suspect not as many as maybe most people think, but we'll discuss this further. Pallavi, I hope you come back for that. We'll ask Ajoy to also join us for that
And
one.
guys, please watch my show at 9 o'clock.
No,
It's on this
That's
dowry
not
case.
today.
Okay, it's not a
only
political
my show is
it's on this
promoted
dowry
on
case.
this channel. Only my show is
Okay.
promoted on this.
I request and urge Professor.
What is it
Please
about?
watch
men
my
to
show
watch.
at 9
It's
p.m.
actually about the dowry case, and I feel very strongly about it.
Oh my
Oh
God.
dear.
But you
And
should
it's
have called me
Noida.
for that.
And it's
Yeah,
Noida, na?
horrible,
Yeah, it's your
horrible
home,
picture.
close to home.
Horrible. No, it's
Pallavi,
horrible
you should have called me
pictures,
for
yeah.
that one. Pallavi, you should have called me for that one. I would
Actually,
have
I should have
come.
called you for that.
It's already
horrible.
recorded.
No, it's live. They must already
Bye.
have. But it's a horrible case, and I'm very happy that that guy got shot in the leg. He'll survive, obviously. But I hope
And the
there's some
mother is
system
also
of-
arrested.
I hope there's some system of prison justice. Really disgusting character. Disgusting scum. Okay, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
Advaita, despite all your preoccupations and your new show that you found time for us and your audience.
Yeah, please,
We
guys,
are
please listen to it and make sure to share it. Sandip, please share it with
Okay.
your LinkedIn
uh,
group since you're most active there.
no. I will share everywhere. I asked you what is there, but thank you, Advaita. All the best. If you get traction there, maybe some of it will rub on to us as well, and someday, in some way.
And
Bye.
Professor, share it with your students. Okay, tell them it's part of
I'll
their
do that.
assignment to watch
I'll
it.
do that. I'll do that. No, I'll do that actually. I'll do that. I know. I'll do that. I'll do that actually.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
How important
All the
law and
best.
order is. Okay, everybody, do
Yeah.
watch it. Goes to show just
Bye.
the monumental challenge there was for Yogi Adityanath when he took over that state. It's incredible. Well, thank you everybody for watching, and we shall be back soon. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe so that we stay motivated and I can get these people back on, because they're all divas and they all want attention and they'll only come when they get it. So make sure to like, share, subscribe. Thank you, everyone. Bye for
Thank
now.
you.
Have a great
All the best.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.